Wonder Woman, one of the mightiest superheroes in the universe, has a lot of different ways to beat you up. We've seen her block Green Lantern constructs, blades that can cut Darkseid. She has gears like in certain continuities like the Bolt of Zeus that can apparently shatter mountains. Obviously, that's light work for DC powerhouses. Seems to be a reoccurring theme, and she seems to just have a Bolt of Zeus with her all the time that can shatter mountains and cause all this collateral with the Bolt of Zeus. Battle gods like Ares. In Rebirth, they gave her a piece of Hecate's power so she can do magic type stuff whenever she feels like it sometimes, a little light magic stuff. Even when strong beings like Cheetah, who are on her level, strike her with god killer swords and she doesn't even have her bracelets on here, for example, she was still able to block it and not get cut straight through. Shows how dense her bones and stuff can get. And she's a being. The farther you get in this video, you're going to understand that she's mighty enough to shake the universe itself with her punching power. But you're going to see as far as this video goes on. Like, I love Wonder Woman, but it's annoying how DC picks and chooses when they want to make her bulletproof, right? Like how in the main continuity, it can pierce her or threaten her, and she's forced to block it. And then other times like this, they pretty much explained why bullets hurt her because there's a difference between piercing force and sharp force, which I do agree with. Stabbing somebody isn't the same as punching somebody, even if you hit them with the same amount of force. But I just think when you're as strong as her, I just think her durability is so ridiculous that it just seems weird that piercing this makes a difference when somebody can withstand a sun exploding in their face. You know what I mean? Like, it's sad that the video game version of her Injustice Wonder Woman is actually bulletproof where the bullets legitly straight up bounce off her skin and her chest and the actual body without having to depend on armor or nothing, you know? I guess we'll take what we can get, though. She's one of those powerhouses that one could say she's the best powerhouse when it comes to actually being physically strong and actually having skills. We've seen her use her skills when she uses her strength, mixing in her lasso with her sword. We've seen her get in sword fights with Donna Troy before. Other Amazons fight with each other with different weapons, not just blades. There's literally times where she's literally powerless when you can see her acrobats, even beating up large crowds when she don't have no power. She legit has fighting skills. How many occasions like this do you need to prove that she just has straight up fighting skills? In this occasion, she does have her strength and stuff, but spars with Donna Troy, you see these different weapons they're using, and you see how she fights in combat using her leg, all this fighting skill type stuff. She has skills fighting with no eyes, blind, because it's like a normal thing they do when it comes to training. Proves it in action, fighting while blind. Planet Earth is only one planet in this entire universe, in the universe of DC Comics, of course. That's probably the one planet you don't want to go to. You got to deal with the Earth's greatest protectors, the Justice League themselves, and one being that's always a part of the Justice League, no matter which roster, no matter which reboot or anything, is the being known as Wonder Woman. I mean, there's a lot of characters that look strong. Wonder Woman is one of those characters that's strong in what she looks like. She uses melee weapons like swords. She uses gear and such like lassos on top of it, along with stuff like magic lassos, gear bracelets that deflect bullets. Same with using a shield. I mean, her lasso itself is made from the purest of gold from Mount Olympus. She has like this morphing disc in the post-crisis era that helps secure the moon in this particular occasion. Yeah, I'm not exaggerating that. You know that thing she wears on her head? She can use this as a weapon as well. To run in a battle, she can decapitate you with it. Or even cut Superman himself. That's how dangerous it is. Yeah, the stuff that she's wearing is not just for show. Like, she literally has gauntlets that will increase her strength times 10. These Atlas gauntlets will increase her strength times 10. So it's more than one statement like that. She has a special golden suit, like the one you've seen in the Wonder Woman live action movie. That definitely deserved more screen time, and that movie needed more fighting. Just like how in Post-Crisis she had this golden suit, she has another suit, the more newer-ish type stuff like Rebirth. Like this Regal suit where her skin is less shown, but it also has blades in it. It helps when it's bulletproof all over too. She has gear like magical earrings that help her breathe underwater. That's thanks to Poseidon gifting it to her. And you know about the God Wave sword. In newer continuity stuff, she has the sword of Hephaestus. She always has an overpowered sword no matter which reboot or the changes they make. The sword itself is so sharp it can split an atom. Man, you're going to see occasions of this video where she's fighting Kryptonians. You notice how she can deflect Kryptonian blasts. And of course, she has gear like the Zeus-like equipment, like this lightning bolt she can literally hold. One could say this is a temporary power, but I guess she got blessed with a Star Sapphire ring, which allowed her to do Green Lantern-esque type stuff, like make constructs or shields and stuff. A big reason why she's strong is because she's kind of related to Greek lore type stuff, Olympus, you know, Greek god level beings and stuff. Well, at least DC's version of the Greek gods, right? Wonder Woman, just like every single comic book character known to man apparently, has went through quite a bit of changes over the years. I mean, it makes sense. Comics have a long running history. Sometimes writers want to change their opinions and they want to reboot the universe and start over again, you know. Here's a visual representation of what I mean by changes. You see how she used to dress? This got rebooted because this is post-crisis, old stuff, kind of in the middle, and then we got the newer-esque type stuff. Differences, but they're very similar still. One main difference about the older Wonder Woman stuff is that the writing was a lot more Looney Tune-ish because of old school comic logic, right? This feat right here in particular isn't Looney Tune-ish, but this is just like light work, being able to withstand the heat of the surface of the sun, and she's okay. Her skin is okay from that. What is Looney Toony is feats like this of her exerting pressure against a copper penny, draws it out to infinite length, weaving it into a network of indestructible lines. Like, what? This is what I mean when I say Looney Toony type stuff. You know what I mean? Drastic changes happen over time. But if I'm being honest, no matter which version of her, all of the versions of her are way past planet-shattering level when it comes to how hard she can punch. But let's dissect how strong she is, shall we? In older stuff, she was literally blessed by the gods, which is why she was so strong in these earlier days. Even when we want to go way back in the old comics, they even talk about the blessings. Even back in these old days, she got strength greater apparently than Hercules thanks to the blessings. So yeah, always related to the Greek stuff. Them statements about her being as strong as Hercules or stronger is not an exaggeration. There's writer intent. We've seen these two clash when it comes to muscles and everything when it comes to raw strength. She slams them, showing that, yeah, she's in that range of power. And them statements about her being stronger might not be an exaggeration. I mean, being the daughter of Zeus has its perks. I mean, she's strong because of it. In newer stuff, they even stick with the story that Hercules is her brother. So you know she's destined to be strong. Yeah, Wonder Woman's had her fair share of reboots. Heck, there was even a moment in her career where she had like a god mode where it wasn't even considered a temporary power. It was something she can always access. This mode like this where she took her bracelets off. I totally wish this mode got more shine so we can see the limits of it. But yeah, it's whatever her base form can do. This form can do better. It increases all her statistics, strength, everything. There's heavy implication that it's a drastic power increase because beings that can kind of slugfest with her with a medium difficulty, I would say. When Wonder Woman's not bloodlusted or nothing, the moment she goes God mode, even though she's still one, when she goes into his God mode fighting the same being, it's completely one-sided, curb stomp. She used this God mode when Superman and Doomsday did the fusion technique, basically. When Superman got infected by the Doomsday virus, you know, New 52 Doomsday was literally a virus. Her God mode dragged this version of Superman to orbit. But yeah, in newer stuff, it's like they forgot about this. Maybe they can bring this back, or maybe they don't want her having no mode. She can just enter at any time. They like to stick to their temporary power-ups, and this wasn't a temporary power-up. This is just something she could always do. I guess they didn't want her to have her own Super Saiyan mode. But yeah, it's not enough of this showings, though. In the Rebirth continuity, the continuity right after the New 52, they got rid of this God mode, right? So they came up with another idea. Wonder Woman carried a piece of a cosmic being's soul within her, which was like their way of giving her a temporary power-up all these years. She had this magic within her. But I'm gonna get to this later. I will admit, even though this was a temporary power-up, she had a dope look. You got her base form, then you got her witching hour, super sorceress magic, Super Saiyan form, So let's get rid of these temporary power-ups, okay? It's time to become cosmic being status one more time. Let me stop. I'll go over this later. But yeah, we don't need this for her to be a beast. Let's get into her base form stuff. You know what I mean? One thing that people sleep on Wonder Woman about is they think she's just strong physically. Well, technically her lungs and stuff are strong too. I mean, if you want to be technical, she technically has blast power because her breath force is crazy. Being able to breathe and propel whole clouds in front of her. If you need a jump start, she can blow you far, literally. She can kind of make you get closer by using her powerful breath to suck you closer in these older comics. It's funny, everybody talks about Superman's super breath. Nobody mentions how strong her super breath is. She can literally blow out fires, or even blow a jet of air that's so piercing it cuts, sometimes not even knowing her own strength. She blows so hard it turns the water into snow. Falling meteors, she blows back into space. Here she blows out flames, blowing all these flowers. Her laughs even break certain things. Use her breath to split the trenches. Give you more kinetic energy, like blowing you like a cannonball. Chip stone her breath. Like, this is crazy. Her super breath can aid parachutes. Don't ask. Just to give you small examples of her strength, she can overpower multiple women at the same time. Even in old days, she's so much mightier than the average person. Or even hundreds of Amazons can't overpower her in a tug-of-war strength contest. A good example is how all these big men are trying to lift up 25,000 pounds. She lifts it up with one arm with ease. All these men try to overpower her. This is literally a joke to her. No matter which era we're talking about, super soldier tiers like Green Arrow, for example, are just not in her league. She's way above him when it comes to strength, speed, and literally every category you can think of tosses him aside. Even back in these early days, it was a common thing to lift planes, stopping missiles or torpedoes. Oh, what do you know? Another missile. Trains literally ram into her. She stops it on the spot. Or she could just simply lift them up and toss them. Oh yeah, another train she can stop. Yeah, trains being overpowered by her strength is just a normal day in the life. I guess that's like one of the best ways to save somebody with the lasso or strength, I guess, back in these days. She'd be pulling planes or pretty much any aircraft, really. I can't think of a plane that exists that she can't lift. It's a common theme. Can literally lift up whales. She doesn't have a problem moving any boat, no matter the circumstance. She would be a helpful aid helping move boats and stuff, pulling them with her lasso in dire situations. I mean, what the passenger's supposed to do when a boat breaks? The same with if people are stranded in the middle of the ocean or something. You know, she got to help out, pulling ships to shore and stuff. Boats are not light, so it shows she's massively past superhuman. I mean, submarines are super durable and dense to be able to survive water pressure as crazy as it can. It doesn't seem to matter what kind of ship it is, no matter how big it is, she's physically strong enough to get it to safety, whether towing it or just straight up lifting it up. She can even tow stuff with her teeth. Yeah, she can definitely lift over hundreds of thousands of tons, especially considering how heavy cruise ships can weigh. But I honestly believe you guys get the idea when it comes to Wonder Woman saving all these boats on all these different occasions. I don't want to annoy you and just go down a list of every single time she lifted or towed a boat. There's actually too many boat occasions with Wonder Woman. She's lifted so many, it's probably getting repetitive for this video. I mean, one thing is lifting the boat, but lifting the anchor with it shows strength too. Yeah, we get it, DC. We understand it, doggone it. We know Wonder Woman likes saving boats. She's also lifted flying saucers, big chunks of ice she can sling all the way to space with her throwing power. Small stuff like this she can throw around the entire planet. Tanks that weigh at least 20 to 60 tons are a joke to her for her to throw around. Literally shown on the screen to be able to use her lasso to throw an actual mountain, using her lasso along with her strength. Can literally hold the entire island of the Amazons because of Looney Tune type of comic logic. Okay. You see back in these days, she's pulling massive chunks of ice. It's just normal for her. I mean, think about it. If she can lift a mountain, of course lifting something like this up isn't nothing to her. Don't mind her. She can just lift houses or buildings up like it's no big deal. She's one of those characters that can just move your cabin when she feels like it and put it somewhere safe. Forever pulling buildings. She's lifted a lot of heavy stuff. Big Titan-sized things try to step on her. She's strong enough to hold it off. Easy stuff like taking down vault doors with Superman. And banks, she can literally hold up buildings, obviously, even the newer stuff. Her and other powerhouses of the league was able to help halt the Watchtower from falling. Beings like Giganta that are massive she can lift up. Huge kaiju beasts she can lift up. Hey, Aquaman, let's pull stuff together. Hey, Aquaman, let's move 10-ton pillars together because this is fun, right? And when it comes to her island lifting, she has the mighty godlike strength to lift islands up on multiple occasions. Heck, they even narrate it as she lifts the whole island. In this occasion, it's literally stated she lifts the entire island. Seriously, Wonder Woman, how many islands are you going to move? Literally move the island to a safe place here. Dude, they're making this island pooling seem simple. You know how atomic bombs can level cities, right? There was this thing that was atomic bomb proof. Wonder Woman not only can lift up islands, but she can punch with greater force because she was able to punch through something that not even nuclear bombs could dent. Beings like Hercules lifted a stadium. She lifted up Hercules and the stadium on top of it. In newer comics, you know, it's the same duplicate feats of her lifting up heavy stuff. It's implied she can lift up this island if she just really had to because Hercules was doing it at the moment. In newer stuff, she can tear apart giant robots that are this big. It's like robots are made of butter. She's strong enough to catch actual meteors. Meteors do vary in size. She has the raw power when it comes to strikes to shatter it too. She's strong enough to use trees as like a baseball bat to stop a whole bunch of meteors. Here's another occasion of a meteor. She's not afraid to catch it, spin it so hard to where it reduces it to ashes. In this occasion, you see her literally catch a meteor here and even took it to the museum. Wonder Woman literally lassoing the moon. Yes, even older comics did crazy stuff like this. Crazy strength of moving the moon. A second moon. There was this planet heading towards Earth. Wonder Woman said, nah, not today. She lassoed it, literally lassoing a planet to divert it to go somewhere else. If you need a moon, she will move a planetoid so you have your own moon. So even in old stuff, there's implications. If we assume the moon that Wonder Woman moved is anything like the moons weight apparently in real life. That would mean she can move or lift quintillions of tons, or at least pull that level of weight. Just for reference on how heavy the moon technically would be compared to that 150 billion ton mountain that Hulk lifted. Yes, I'm aware the Hulk has lifted more than 150 billion tons. I'm just using this for reference. So relax. This mountain was billions of tons. She lifted something that was at the very least 6 million times heavier, if I'm just assuming that moon was 1 quintillion. I'm not even counting the full weight of the moon. That's like saying she can lift 6,150 billion ton mountains, bro. She can literally lift millions of mountains up. In newer comics, when they were talking about beings that could potentially move the entire planet Earth, which is actually bigger than the moon, Wonder Woman was one of the beings that was in the conversation to move the entire planet. This statement about being able to move the Earth was backed up because she was one of the 3 beings that was a helpful asset in actually moving the entire planet Earth. So even if we divide this feat by 3, the Earth is clearly bigger than the moon, and she can help drag something this massive. Even in older stuff, she was able to match Martian Manhunter, another Justice League powerhouse member that's considered a heavy hitter. They stalemate each other by pushing each other back here until he rolls her up on the floor, you know. What about how hard she can punch? You can see it on the occasions of her fighting like leaguers like Martian Manhunter. And they have a pretty entangled, difficult type fight, even though the session was over right here. I just think stuff like this kind of proves writer intent that she's meant to be around that Martian Manhunter, Superman-esque range. She got skills and can throw stuff. Ricochet, like on some bullseye type stuff. Yes, we have seen her actually visually help pull the moon along with Green Lantern and Superman. At decent speeds, might I add. Her and other powerhouses work together to do something similar, moving giant planetoid-sized things. Big constructs like this, other powerhouses work together to move moon, gigantic-sized structures like this. Everybody playing their part. Wonder Woman's here too, to help the moon stay in orbit. She has crazy writer intent on top of this because everybody knows who Hercules is. It was stated that she has the strength of Gaia and that she is stronger than Hercules. And statements like this are actually stated more than once. I mean, when Hercules had the burden to lift up something ridiculously heavy, he was literally bearing the entire weight of Paradise Island upon his shoulders to pretty much prove these statements and back it up. Wonder Woman basically said, let me give you a break because I can take that burden off your shoulders real quick because I'm strong enough to hold it as well. And of course, she can move the Earth, she can hold the island up. You know what I mean? The writers are funny. There's even implications that if there was a scenario that came up that she might be able to pull the sun. But unfortunately, in this particular situation, this is not actually what happened in the story. This is just cover art for decoration. She didn't really move the sun in this particular scan. In newer comics, however, there was this situation where the sun was actually too close to the Earth and it was actually dangerous. One of the deities, Apollo, aka known as the sun god, Diana thought this was the sun god Apollo's doing, having the sun so close to the Earth. So Diana says, man, we ain't got time for this. I need to get this Earth back to where it's supposed to be with her lasso. Apparently, the artist could be implying that she could possibly move the sun if she wanted to. But if we're to take this seriously of her having the potential or raw strength to pull something as big as the sun, when we sit back and relax and think about how big the sun is compared to puny old Earth down here, that's just ridiculous. Just from width alone, the sun is 100 times wider than Earth itself. I mean, that's just talking about how wide it is. You can technically fit 1 million Earths in the sun, guys. Imagine someone being strong enough to hold up hundreds of Earths, thousands of Earths, 1 million Earths. You know, even if you can't lift the whole sun, if you can just move half the weight of the sun, that's still hundreds of thousands of Earths weight you can pull, technically. Wonder Woman has a lot of top-tier feats that suggest that she could do this anyway. A great example of this is how, when it comes to physical strength, she's no slouch in comparison to Kryptonian top-tier Kryptonians like Superman or even Supergirl. You know, like Superman, you know, moving suns. You know, of course she can do it. It's one of them situations, even if she doesn't even necessarily have to show it just based on the opponent she's got similar strength to. If you still believe I'm drunk and you believe there's no version of Wonder Woman that can pull a sun, well, how about this? These two beings are based around Greek mythology. This guy literally has the strength of Hercules, no matter which continuity. Shazam, Captain Marvel, no matter how you look at it. Same with Wonder Woman. She's always in that Superman powerhouse ranges no matter what. She literally got blessed with the strength of Hercules, even tested her strength against Hercules on multiple occasions, even overpowering Hercules, even though he's strong. Her strength has been directly compared to Hercules. Strength of Gaia, stated. Statements like this have been stated more than once about her being stronger than Hercules. So it lets you know the writer intent. You guys probably already know where I'm going with this. Yes, Shazam in the past. Not just him, but the whole family have the raw strength to move planets and stars. I'm just giving you an idea of how strong Wonder Woman is. These beings can literally move giant stars. So yeah, Wonder Woman would not be afraid to pull up on a star and grab it if she needed to, because she has the strength to lift or pull 1 million Earths. You know, she's that mighty. I mean, if you was one of those believers that Superman can move the Earth, but she couldn't, why would they even bother have her be in the equation if she's thousands or millions of times weaker than them? She's obviously, writer intently, narratively speaking, meant to be in that range of power. Even if you want to give them the edge, it's not an astronomical power difference. You know what I mean? If you're a DC Comics fan, you probably respect Supergirl, Kryptonian, Superman, no matter which era. Kryptonians are generally ridiculously powerful. Like, Superman back in these old days was apparently moving a galaxy worth of planets, apparently. You're probably wondering why am I bringing this up? Because when it comes to writer intents, even back in these old days, she can damage Superman with punches, apparently. Superman even said her Amazon strength is amazing. Part of this could be because she has magic lasso and stuff like that. She was able to reflect Superman like that when he was falling towards her. More proof she's a Superman-esque being is this time where Superman was facing off against this being known as Convict. He was hitting Convict with the force to shatter small planets, and Convict was able to eat these punches from Superman pretty good. To show that Wonder Woman's somewhere similar and that she's not dead weight, she said, let me punch Convict and knock the wind out of him, to show how strong her punches are. All the major powerhouses that we've seen her slug it with. No matter which era, it seems she's always able to damage Superman level beings. Like here, just a straight up kick could draw blood from Superman in New 52 era. She even helped fight beings like Zod and Faora and drew blood from Zod. Kryptonian level beings, her punches straight up damage. Even when Superman and Doomsday are in one body, she can knock them back. Gives you an idea of her striking power. Draws blood from Superman here. When Superman was demon-possessed, she strikes him hard enough to damage him here, making him look kind of sleepy. Slugfesting with any version of Superman, especially an older version of Superman, is impressive. I mean, he can move suns and stuff, so yeah, Wonder Woman has that kind of strength. You know that mace that, like, Hawkman or Hawkgirl be using? Tell me why Wonder Woman said, let me use that real quick, and let me strike a being as strong as Black Adam and make him sleepy with it. Using her strength with a combination of her shield, does this to Doomsday, punches Supergirl this hard. Whole bunch of Justice League members was ganging up on her. Superman wasn't in this group, but this is crazy. Knocks them all back. More ways to look at how strong she is. We know she can dish out a lot, but can she take it? I mean, we've seen her even cut Darkseid with her blade. Because there was this time, an incredibly powerful weapon known as the Void Hound, a weapon that's tested only once, and that one test, 10 star systems apparently died. After that, it was buried and locked away, kept secret because of how dangerous it was. She's able to block and withstand some hits from it, just like the other powerhouses can to some degree. Something that's this mighty. Her body can survive the pressure of an actual black hole, explicitly stating that something a light can't escape, but her body could. Madness. An Imperiex probe explosion. She survived technically, but she was definitely sleepy after that, though. The same respect people have for Superman is the same respect people have for Supergirl. Well, you should have respect for Supergirl because she's a Kryptonian too that's comparable. Supergirl, no matter which era, can move planets with her strength. Stated to have the raw power output to pulverize the galaxy. The fact that she can damage beings with this kind of power, it would suggest her punching power. She could also be in that galaxy obliterating ranges of power, or the power to shake it at least, right? Because they implied Supergirl could pulverize it with her raw power, and she can match Supergirl, you know, no matter which era, right? She literally has the strength to kick the moon out of orbit, and Wonder Woman can get in a boxing match with beings like this. Even show implications that she's got stars before her eyes or dizzy. Even Supergirl giving her props about her punching power. I mean, anybody that can lift that much weight has to be able to punch hard, right? That's Wonder Woman. Can battle and slugfest with beings that are similar to herself. Strong enough to use her lasso and everything combined to slam Supergirl to the ground. And even get the upper hand over Supergirl. After Supergirl, like, let out her energy, and she was pretty much helpless afterwards. Yes, even in newer stuff, fighting Supergirl yet again. It's a common theme. She battled Darkseid's daughter and restrained her here to show her might in newer stuff. Even in newer Rebirth stuff, she slams Grail through this big chunk of this island, strikes Darkseid. I think I see a little bit of blood. I mean, it makes sense. With her sword in New 52, she was able to pierce his eye, so I guess that makes sense. A New God's son, Caliban, tried to pull up on her. She blocked his attacks. She's knocked out Giganta, even though she's massive. Okay, let's talk about it. You know how there's Myth Hercules and then there's DC versions of their interpretation of Hercules? They have a lot of similarities, but also a lot of differences. Obviously, Myth Hercules and Hercules from DC aren't the same guy, so we can't just use all his feats over here to use for DC Hercules, obviously, right? But what if DC implies that their version of Hercules has similar feats to the Myth feats that we know Hercules got in Myth lore? What am I talking about, you ask? In newer comics, no matter which version of Hercules we're talking about, it's implied he went through the same labors like Myth. He always went through the events of the labors, even if they changed up Hercules a bit. It's implied here in brand newer comics talking about one of my labors, one of his many labors. If DC's version of Hercules actually has feats from the labors myth feats, that would make Wonder Woman way more impressive. Because if we go to myth feats when it comes to labors that Hercules had to do in strength, you guys remember in myth how Atlas held the sky and earth upon his shoulders. In myth, Atlas had passed the burden of holding the sky, Hercules, and Hercules did the task. And it's not just Rebirth when it comes to these labors. Atlas does hold the sky in older comics as well. It just seems like those are the feats that are going to stick with Hercules no matter which reboot happens. They're going to always keep those labors a part of his lore. Even if it's DC, even if DC doesn't have nothing to do with Greek mythology or nothing. That's one similar element they're going to keep, apparently. This would be an immeasurable lifting type strength. We don't even know how to calculate this. Like infinite weight? Like what? You know what I mean? If this was to be taken seriously. You know what I mean? What do you guys think about that? Like, how do you even measure lifting a sky or something? Like, you know how DC has all these different universes within this universal, multiversal bubble map thingy? Are they implying the powerhouses in their base state could lift one of these universes infinite weight up or something? You know what I mean? It depends on how you want to perceive it. What do you guys think about that? But if you still believe all this BS is crazy, a good idea, getting an idea of how strong she is to look at how hard Shazam can hit in certain continuities, because he also has the strength of Hercules, right? And it was stated in narration they can rock the entire cosmos or shake the universe as collateral to their punches when Shazam and Lobo were punching. Having punches that shake just one DC universe is actually madness considering how many galaxies and stuff exist in the universe, shaking all these cosmic structures with just punches Wonder Woman technically could do if she has strength greater than Hercules, because that's what Shazam has. You got occasions like this when she clash, and they narrate clashes of mythologies. They narrate with the power roaring of the God wave. They narrate seeming as if the energy of the universe is erupting, threatening to tear the foundations from reality. Yeah, reality tearing stuff. You see what I'm saying? Universe shaking, universe threatening stuff. You get the idea? Do I even have to get on her fighting speed? That's one of the things she specializes in. We've seen her compete with other gods that are ridiculously fast when it comes to just sprinting contests. Stated to move like a blur, it's quite obvious on how certain panels are drawn when it comes to fighting speed. This literally looks like a punch Gatling gun, creating a whirlwind with her speed. Use her speed as like a drill, one could say. Even if the feat isn't necessarily her fighting, it still implies fighting speed or how she's able to maneuver really quickly and move her hands a certain speed and stuff, whether it's digging or just doing other stuff. She's got all this insane strength to lift up cars and vehicles with her finger. She's absurdly fast, has godlike strength. I mean, when you can speed right like this, that's fighting speed. She can travel fast in a straight line, and literally her brain can register all the conversations she's having with super speed faster than the eye can follow. You have to be able to have a fast mind or reaction speed to be able to register what's going on at these speeds, which is why she can clean at super speed or scroll through thousands of files at super speed, help build at super speed. Powers like this would come in handy for multitasking and getting stuff done fast. Occasion like this could be just her strength, but she uses her speed to make sure their hands break, like they thought they can keep their hands. Yeah, no. She is speedster-like because she played Ring Around the Rosie with Flash level beings to shred up all this ice with, speed. When it comes to raw speed overall, there's beings in their opinion think she's as fast as Flash. I mean, we've seen her race God of Speed level beings and stuff, but she's also had friendly races with the Flash. Of course, I believe Flash still got her beat, but still something cool to see. And other speedsters she has raced with as well. In this particular occasion, they're not moving at light speed, though. They're going 9,000 miles per hour and stuff. It's occasions like this that imply they're not really going their fastest because they both say it's implied they both can go double this speed with ease. Batman believes her fighting speed is faster than Superman's. Someone we know for a fact is so many times faster than the speed of light, it's crazy. Blocking a ton of stingers, a bullet that's already traveling, and she's able to intercept it with her raw speed. She's fast enough to intercept Omega beams. In this occasion, she was literally blind. Narration stated he was going at near the speed of light. She's still able to react to beings like this. He's a time manipulator speedster type character. Stuff that's considered concentrated light, she can deflect stuff like this. The same goes for heat vision, whether it's Superman's or Supergirl's. In newer continuities, they talk about heat vision, implying that it's as fast as light. Yep, Supergirl uses heat vision. She reflects it and reacts to it. So there was all these shards, trillions, going throughout the universe. She's so fast that she's able to deflect a lot. Do you see all these shards coming from almost every direction? Her fighting speed is able to deflect all of that madness. I'm not going to lie, I kind of want to speed run all the ridiculous amount of times she's blocked and reacted to bullets It's almost repetitive at this point because you know she's already reacted to light and laser beams and heat vision, so you know bullets ain't nothing to her speed. Her hands literally make after images because of her speed. She has a lot of flashy showings when it comes to her speed. All kinds of after images, even from every direction. Deflecting bullets just to break the machine with physical might. Yeah, even in newer stuff in New 52, deflecting bullets is just another day. Multiple soldiers don't try it. All these sharp objects, she can deflect all this with her fighting speed. All these swords, she dodges it like on some Matrix type stuff. Just in case you're wondering, does she deflect bullets in the brand new stuff in Rebirth? The answer is yes, no matter which continuity. Yep, you guessed it. All this gets deflected because of fighting speed. Multiple bullets gets deflected because of multiple gun shooting. This many. You guys should get the idea by now. Y'all just need to stop. And her speed isn't limited to her flying. She can literally run around the globe with incredible speed. Since in the Rebirth continuity, apparently throughout her life, she had a piece of a cosmic being's soul inside of her. She's the Witch Mother. She's the one that bestowed magic upon mankind years ago. Like, yeah, she's that high up there in the hierarchy. Say it with me, everybody. Even though Wonder Woman had this inside her all along without accessing it until this particular event, this is indeed a temporary power because she didn't keep it after this. Yay, more temporary power-ups just for them to go away. I mean, she's already a being physically that's strong enough to rip the world apart, but the power inside of her, this magic that she apparently had all along in the Rebirth continuity, could rip the world apart. Her power was so great that even Zatanna was astonished. At this point, she was definitely on some multiversal entity type stuff. She had 1/5 the might of the being that gave the multiverse magic. You know what I mean? As collateral of their battle, Wonder Woman was in this busted state, rewriting reality itself, fighting with enough energy itself to create a universe. Wonder Woman like this was so busted that reality itself quakes every step. She's pretty busted, overpowered. Yeah, Wonder Woman was stronger than all your favorite characters at this moment, guys. Yeah, she was busted. This power was so crazy. Even other cosmic S-type beings, like Upside Down, man, I'm talking about higher dimensional type beings. That's the complete opposite of Hecate, the goddess of magic. She had enough power to really mess them up that bad. So you already know Wonder Woman had these two forms. What if I told you her and Zatanna got another form by touching this ruby, and she got another form? You guys already knew that was coming. They battle the Lords of Order because they're the new Lords of Chaos. Yo, check out all of this crazy madness, like crazy temporary power-ups. You gotta love it. Yeah. So, of course, you know they gotta get rid of the ruby that gives them crazy power. You know, they can't stay like that, right? You know. In this golden state, she sets on a higher level. She can see past, present, and future happening all at the same time, and even the war happening all at once, implying she has extra senses more than normal. The past too, she sees everything who has fallen to give them this chance. Battling this being that was a threat to the entire multiverse. They're battling, going to different parts in time, literally narrated. That's how hard they're hitting each other. The reason why she's powered up like this is because Diana is charged up with anti-crisis energy, a connective force that links all history, all lives as one story. Yeah, she's on some cosmic being status for real. Another occasion of her being above all your favorite characters. That's when they see Perpetua species, the beings that made the multiverse. Yeah, Perpetua. Wonder Woman is on this level because this being can hold the multiverse in the palm of their hands. This Batman is amped up beyond belief by crazy means as well, which is why they're so cosmic. She seems to still have her fighting skills though, punching them so hard they fly forward in time, apparently knocking them into this death sun, a super sun on which everything came from. No, I'm not making this up. Wonder Woman is basically the hero in this golden state, but you guys already know what's about to come. No more power for this mode. This was for the sake of purpose of everything being retconned and everything apparently being canon. Yay, another reboot. Let me stop. But yeah, y'all, that's just about going to do it. You got to be drunk if you disrespect her power at this point. You got to respect Wonder Woman. What do you think her limits are? She's a beast in her base state, but she had a few times when she went cosmic. But before I get going, thanks for the donations, everybody. Helps out a lot. Respect Wonder Woman, though. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.